I so don't want to butcher your name, but is it Creighton? I
Uh,
probably did.
crouton. No.
Crouton. Oh man, I cannot believe I just did that. Yep. Go ahead. Everybody can make fun of me on that one. I suck at reading, clearly. He's all like, what? Clearly, he understands now why it's called DeFi for Dummies.
Bazinga.
I
That's
know.
right. Crouton and toast are closely related.
That's true. They're both just like kind of crispy bread.
All right, all right, all right. I guess we can start off since this is recorded. And anybody who is not here, they can always listen back to the recording. So if you missed it, Groot definitely mispronunciated the name initially, but I will get it right going forward. Crouton, or
You
2/3.
mispronounced crouton?
Yes, you missed it. You would have been laughing. You can go back to
Dead.
the recording and you will have a good field day. And for the listeners, just to give you a heads up, the first 2/3 of the space is dedicated to the project to answer all the dumb questions. Obviously, everybody will find out how dumb they are because of the beginning of this space. Then the last part is we will bring up listeners to ask any questions that we might have forgotten, or if you might have missed anything and you want to re-ask it, feel free to do that as well. Crouton, do you want to give us a little bit of a TLDR about yourself and then also about HL names?
Hey, I'm Crouton, or you can call me Christian. I really like crypto and I like to play guitar and go snowboarding. And I have a really cute cat named Tommy, who is my pride and joy. I got into crypto in 2017. Had a friend who was involved in the esports scene, and through that, he learned about people making a bunch of money in crypto, and he shared that with me. And I'm like, that sounds pretty cool. And I bought like the top of Ethereum in like late 2017 or early 2018, and lost like 80% of everything that I put into it. But I didn't give up because I realized I had discovered something very special. It all worked out in the long run. I'd stuck around. I was actually studying finance in university. And when I finished that, I didn't really like the career paths available to me in the traditional financial world, especially since I had discovered crypto. So I just wanted to do whatever it took to work in crypto and do things in crypto. Probably the biggest step I made towards that, I joined the local crypto scene community in Vancouver, where we started up Ethereum Vancouver, which has been running for 3.5 years now. We have had a meetup in Vancouver almost every week, and that's been pretty cool. We're actually the same group is actually starting up a Hyperliquid Canada event or community, and we have our first event next month, Hype Vancouver. So that's going to be pretty sweet. If anyone who's listening happens to be based in Vancouver or wants to fly to Vancouver, that's on November 13th. So really into crypto community stuff, Hyperliquid names. Actually, we're working on it with a bunch of friends from Vancouver in the crypto space in our secret community basement called Decontrol. We hatched it up together as friends, and Hyperliquid names, it's your digital identity in the house of finance. And like, what is that actually? Well, it's like personalizes your wallet address and gives you this personalization throughout different apps in DeFi, helps for readability of your on-chain identity, and allows people to, for example, send funds easily to a person with like a username sort of instead of a wallet address. So instead of sending money to 0x123ABC, you're sending money to crouton.hl. And that's just a little more user friendly. So if you're familiar with ENS, it is similar, but different in several ways, which we could discuss later, but it's the same concept, just trying to improve readability and user experience and add like this little flair of personalization to your on-chain activities, specifically within the Hyperliquid ecosystem.
I feel like all the big brains come from finance. I don't know why. That just is something that I've kind of realized, or at least have some type of a finance background or some type of, I'm trying to think of like philosophy, I guess, or something along those like people services. I don't know. I could be wrong. Anyways, I
It's like
digressed.
big picture stuff. Like finance is just like a branch of economics,
Hmm.
and philosophy, I think, in a kind of similar way. It's just kind of like thinking holistically, like big picture. And I think that helps you have a good view of the world, maybe that contributes to maybe seeming smart or whatever you think.
Yeah. So what made you start up, I guess, HL names? What Brooke brought it about, and I guess that's probably going to lead into like what is ENS.
So some of my friends were playing around with name service technology on actually for Axelar, of all things, and got quite far along on the technology, but didn't really go anywhere on the ecosystem side. So this kind of existed, this piece of technology that didn't have a use case. And then we all love Hyperliquid here in Vancouver, very big fans. So it's a constant topic of discussion, and we're looking at what's something we can build to contribute to the ecosystem. And we see people are starting to rock .hl on Twitter, Jeff most notably. And then it kind of was the logical conclusion that this kind of already have a certain percentage of the tech built. You just need to repurpose it to work on Hyperliquid and do a rebrand. We have some people on the team who have a lot of experience in identity specifically from like Web 2. All those things kind of fell into place. And again, really came from like a bunch of Hyperliquid fans who were friends and wanted to build something cool together. And this was just like the most logical direction.
I know initially when I was looking at an HL name, I'm actually logging into my wallet now to get one, that it was, man, what am I thinking? Auction, right? Like you had to put it for auction. Is that something that is still going on for HL or no?
No. So as of July 1st, we've had open mint. Anybody can come in and mint a name. Most names are 20 USD, pay with hype, but price in USD. The auctions only ran for about a month. And this was, in our opinion, the best way to distribute names initially in a way that was like fair and didn't just have like all the good names getting instantly sniped. So we had this kind of slow rollout of names in the auction periods. At first, it was like 3+ character names with just letters and numbers, and then we introduced a Unicode. So you can actually get a HL name in any other language if you use a different character set, or you can actually do emojis as well, include that in your name. And then we rolled out 2 character and 1 character names just so like basically everything is available. And then once we kind of had like a period of auctions allowing all those names to be distributed in a way that we thought was the most fair way that we thought we could distribute these names. And after we had enough time to sufficiently allow it to happen, it made sense to, and this was always the plan as like the final phase of our launch was to have this open mint where anyone can come in and just right away purchase any name that's still available.
That completely makes sense. I did know that you guys have the auction, but I didn't understand why the auction. And I was always afraid that someone would take my name just because it's Groot.
It's
And
a solid name.
yeah, right. And I was like, oh, if I put this up for auction, it's gone. It's kind of what I was thinking. But I actually just got it right now. So, now I have it. Nobody else does.
Amazing.
So, going to like the actual HL website itself, you pretty much can just search any name you want, right? And then see if it's available or not. Two-part question. If it's available, obviously you just buy it. But if it's not available, how do you go about maybe getting that from someone?
So they're tradable on secondary marketplaces. I recommend OpenSea. Your OpenSea recently supported Hyper EVM, and it's a good experience. Also, Drip Trade has HL names available too, so you can do secondary trades on that marketplace. You can come into our Discord, maybe try to ask if anybody has a certain name because they might not all be for sale on the marketplace if you want a particular name. That's a good thing that we I don't have like a great answer for, and that's probably something maybe someone in the community can help solve that, right? Like how, admittedly, some people probably bought names for like speculation purposes, and fair enough, open market they can do that, but eventually these names like should go to somebody who actually resonates with the name or wants to pay enough money to secure that name and it actually like means something to them. So having some kind of system to connect people for that purpose. I mean, you could just in most cases maybe find them or I don't know, maybe more like on-chain messaging or something like that. But anyway, yeah, secondary marketplaces, you can try our Discord, but it could be tough in some cases to find people on-chain.
Yeah, perfect. I mean, I'm not really looking for another name, but I think it's kind of interesting because I know, like, I was looking on the timeline and there was a pretty well-known project looking for a name. And I was like, I wonder how they would find that, right? Like, if it's taken, can they go and look for it? And if they can, like, where it could be. So it's good to know that you can go to OpenSea or even in the Discord. But That does actually bring up a good point that you said. Like, it would be kind of cool to have like some type of a messaging service, right? To be able to reach out to these people that have the name. So I don't know if that would be something in the future that you guys would think about, but I definitely would utilize it. When you look at the actual ecosystem itself, like on the website, I actually love this tab. I'm gonna throw this out there right now. It shows like all of the projects that you guys are integrated with. Would that be the correct whatever? I'm not even gonna try to do the empress word, the vocabulary.
We're at about 30 apps that have integrated HL names, and that means they just are like using the API in some way to either resolve names and display HL names, or sometimes some wallets have integrated them into like a send feature where I can search HL name and send funds to that name right in the wallet. And so most of what you see on the ecosystem page is those types of integrations. We also have a few like more like kind of community platforms. So for example, OpenSea, and we have one there. We built a MetaMask snap. So MetaMask doesn't like natively support HL names, but you can download our snap to support. And then we have like Guild. If you're into Guild and getting roles and points, then we have some activities for you to do in the Guild. It's era.guild.xyz/HL. And basically, it kind of walks you through a bit of like an onboarding process with your name. Like you get a role for buying a name, and then for setting your primary name, which is like this is the name that would display when you connect to an app. And then also for things like you can link addresses to your name, you can set like arbitrary text records to your name. So all these things we kind of walk you through that. So those types of like community platforms and toolings and things like that are also included on the ecosystem page as well.
So the people that you guys have integrated with, is there any type of vetting process that you guys do with the project? Or is it just like they reach out to you for access?
So there's a few things there. So most of these teams we're connected with, like we have a Telegram chat. Like we're pretty connected with most people in the Hyperliquid ecosystem. Sometimes people will reach out to us, or we reach out to them. But the process of integrating is open for anybody. We have an API key like in our docs that you can go and use, so anybody can go and build on Hyperliquid names. Some people they just do it and they message us like, "Hey, we did this," and then we're like, "Oh, thanks." And generally, we'll do like co-marketing in terms of vetting projects. Like anybody can go ahead and again like integrate .hl into their app or wallet. Like that's we're open to anybody who wants to do it. In terms of like maybe like collaborating or co-marketing, we'll do some level of, is this obviously a scam and we don't want to promote it. But a lot of people are just building things in Hyperliquid, and if they want to add that little bit of personalization with the .hl, then we're generally happy to support.
That actually makes a lot of sense. It gives you like a TLDR initially because, like you said, you guys have it accessed on your guys' paper for anybody to use, but then also you guys kind of do your own internal vetting process if you're going to put your name behind it, especially since Jeff is repping a .hl, right? You guys better, I'm not gonna say better, but you guys put some oomph behind it to make sure that these people are legit.
We try our best.
Yeah.
Good
So can
actors.
we confirm that Jeff actually owns Jeff.hl? Is that a rumor? Because I actually wanted to ask this question, which might be more controversial, but a lot of people on the timeline have .hl in their Twitter handle, but it's not integrated with HL name. So there's no way to actually verify that, Jeff has an HL name.
I
So
mean,
two-part question. Does Jeff actually have Jeff.hl? And how do you feel about the .hl handle versus your name service?
Yeah, good question. So the .hl, Jeff.hl was like an inspiration for the name service in the first place. And anybody just repping it is just like, it's become like good marketing for us, which has been pretty fortunate. Jeff.hl was reserved for Jeff and custodied, I believe, by Hyperliquid. I don't know if Jeff actually has Jeff.hl like in his official wallet, but obviously you could check on chain and see what's going on there. In terms of the like Twitter versus like our name service, again, it's just good marketing if they don't like actually provably own this name. Something that we have on our roadmap is more of like a social identity integration. So could be some way to connect your HL name to your Twitter, and then you can kind of have this verification. That's one like impact, is confirming that this person on Twitter maybe owns this name, but also it's more like linking your off-chain reputation to your on-chain profile, if you will, because that's been like a hard thing to do generally in Web3. So this is something that we're thinking about, and it's like the solution to on-chain identity and connecting that to who you are off-chain as well. Because being a brand on Twitter that people recognize and respect, and then being able to prove that this is also this on-chain identity with this like financial history and these assets and part of these on-chain communities, and just linking all that together generally is something that in the long term I think makes a lot of sense, especially within the hyperliquid ecosystem.
I'm actually clicking through my profile right now, and I just realized you can link other addresses, so it's not just Hyperliquid, correct?
So the way the address linking works, you can actually call this from our API. So the addresses aren't like linked in any other way than within our database or within the text records on chain, but effectively an app could check your HL name and then get your Bitcoin address or your Ethereum address and then use that in some way. An app you should actually check out that was part of the recent Hyperliquid community hackathon was Easy Unit, and this was like a alternate front end for Unit that just had some like UI UX improvements, and one was actually leveraging this feature in Hyperliquid names where I connect on HyperEVM and then it reads my Hyperliquid name and then immediately can pull my Bitcoin address, so I can actually use like the Unit bridge to go from HyperEVM to Bitcoin, and I don't have to like paste in my Bitcoin address that's automatically pulled from this data that's associated with my name. So in that sense, they're linked together. Again, it's in this improving on-chain user experience.
I love that. I had no idea that was even possible, so that's new to me. And then also being able to like add those extra addresses in there, I feel is massive, especially since I did come from the ordinal space. Being able just to throw my Bitcoin address in there, I could just be like, hey, look this up, and this is the address that I want it to go to. I think is massive. Empress Toast, did you guys know that you could do that within HL names or no?
Yeah, I did. I mean, I'm pretty familiar with the product. I know these guys from actually the HL Names folks were pretty heavily involved with Hackathon, and I'm also an honorary Vancouver crypto member. Even though I don't live in Vancouver, I sometimes show up. I've been to ground control or whatever you call it, DLTR. What's your space called?
Decontrol.
Decontrol. That's the place. Yes. But this is a really cool feature, and it leads me to my next question. I already know the answer, but I do want to ask it. Do you have any plans of integrating with Unit, Hyperunit protocol to help make this bridging from Bitcoin to Hyperliquid a little smoother using your name service for multi-chain addresses?
So we actually built this feature for Unit, believe it or not. This was in collaboration with them. We were talking with them and they thought that this would be a good idea. It didn't ever get integrated into Unit, unfortunately, or maybe has not yet been integrated into Unit. But if you would like to see it, if you can put in a good word, they're very busy, but yeah, it was literally designed for Unit for this specific use case. And I would love to see it fully realized.
Well, there's two parts of that, because one is that everybody knows that I'm trying to plan this spirit quest to go skiing in Japan with Shoku, which I think will be one of the only ways to really get an audience with him. But in a more real sense, I'm pretty sure that somebody could just build a new front end for Unit and then integrate Hyperliquid names. Like I do think that there's a world where a third party makes it happen.
Well, that's what Easy Unit was, right? Like they built an alternative front end for Unit that integrated Hyperliquid names.
Easy Unit.
Easy Unit, yeah, Easy Unit. I think it's
Easy Unit.
yeah, Easy Unit.xyz.
Very interesting.
Yeah, hackathon project.
Definitely teed that one up for you, but that's pretty nice. Like I ask everyone that I work closely with, like my intern, to register with HL names just to make my life easier. So you guys, I'm a fan.
I think just like that extra piece is super beneficial. Just I didn't know that was even possible in the first place, but be able to have that type of like extra place to put my addresses, I guess, I think is huge. So kudos to you guys, definitely.
I
Is
like
there
minting my kids' names too. My kid, I have one, but I tell people to mint their kids' names for the future.
just in case?
Well, I mean,
Looking at you, Groot.
before they
Did
get
you mint your kid's name yet?
before they get swooped
No,
up.
I can't
I'm
because
surprised Toast hasn't minted cat names at this point.
he's getting interns names. That's why. I think it's interesting that, especially like on the ecosystem page, how it has some protocols that I've heard of and then other ones that I haven't. So I think it's a good place, especially when you have an HL name and they have this type of page. I think it also gives just people in the ecosystem a place to maybe check out that they might not have utilized, right? I would wish that more protocols, I guess, would put on a spot where they like who they're integrated with or who they have partnered up with. I think would be super beneficial.
I did want to just mention we're all NFT fans. This group of 3 co-hosts, Groot, Empress, and myself. We love NFTs, and one of the frustrating lack of HL name integrations is drip trade. They don't have them integrated, and I'm working with Nat to try to add them because sometimes I use drip trade, and I would like to be able to see who the holders are and be able to send just using names and human readable names. I would rather have the sellers that are listing have human readable names when available and stuff like that. But there is a nice trick that the HL Names team told me, a nice little feature, which is you can install a Chrome browser extension that's just ready to pop up whatever page you're on. You can easily look up somebody's HL name. So at least that's helped me work around some of the missing integrations in the ecosystem.
That's good to know. Crouton, how do you do that?
I'm not a dev, so I don't know exactly how it works, but basically, magic happens, and then you have this Chrome extension that you can install. And then it's just right up there by your wallets and all that. And then you can just open that up and you can basically, it's just another app that calls our API. So it's just like an extra integration that we built internally.
Yeah, from the user perspective, it's easy to install the extension. I think you just go to the HL Names app and then there's a just install the Chrome extension button.
Oh, it's like in the Chrome extension portion.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like
Okay.
any other Chrome extension. It's pretty straightforward to install and
Mhm.
stuff. But like Empress's point, like you don't need to know how the car runs to use it. It's pretty simple. You just need to make sure you install the right extension. Maybe in the Google extensions official marketplace or whatever.
I'm gonna look it up because I think that would be relatively useful. I think it also kind of helps, like I was saying earlier, that kind of tells you like, okay, who's actually integrating with some of the actual ecosystem, right? Because if you go to a certain platform or something like that and you don't see it really pop up, is it really wanting to be a part of the ecosystem? Does that make sense?
Is it aligned?
There we go.
Empress hates it when we
Man,
say that. Is
I
it
know.
aligned?
But Crouton, is there anything currently on your guys' roadmap that we might have not have asked or that you want to mention?
Yeah, I gotta talk about a few things here. One point is what we're really focused on is generally expanding the Hyperliquid ecosystem, just because we're at a point where like I think most people are aware of Hyperliquid names, and if you want a name, like you have a name or a few, like whatever. And the way that Hyperliquid names 10x is from here is you 10x the Hyperliquid ecosystem. So that's why, for example, we put a bunch of resources towards organizing the Hyperliquid community hackathons. This is why we sponsor other hackathons and events around the world and sponsoring competitions. Like we're sponsoring the Dexari trading competition that's going on right now. Just generally like trying to make the pie bigger. And then that's, I think, the way that we maximize distribution. So that's a big thing that is like on the roadmap, just generally growing the ecosystem. And another thing that we're cooking up is an affiliate program. So you can use your .hl as a referral code, and then you're able to, or someone else is able to input that .hl upon checkout of purchasing a name, and the purchaser will get a discount, and the affiliate will get a kickback. This is kind of incentivizing other people to help us like spread and distribute HL names, but also like rewarding them for that. So, it's another stream of revenue for people who are onboarding people to the Hyperliquid ecosystem. And we also expect apps to integrate as well. So imagine some wallet or app, part of the onboarding flow is you can like purchase an HL name through the app, and then that app on the back end has their affiliate link or their .hl hooked up there, and then so they're monetizing, they have additional revenue stream And this goes along with that idea of just trying to like grow the ecosystem as well, like provide this better onboarding experience across applications and wallets and help apps have an additional way to monetize. That is kind of near term stuff that we're doing. A few other improvements generally to the protocol are being cooked up. And then in like the longer term is where we can take it a bunch of directions. Identity is a really broad space that again hasn't really been solved in Web3. One thing I talked about was this like maybe a Twitter integration where you can hook up your .hl to your social accounts or your on-chain and your off-chain identities, tie them together in some way. Maybe if your Twitter is linked to your .hl, now like every single app that's pulling from the API now is able to read this like off-chain social data about you, and this can be incorporated into how they're like personalizing their experience for you. And on a similar note, using precompiles to pull your hypercore data onto hyper-EVM attached to your name. So maybe your name is now associated with your hypercore PNL or positions or things like that, and your points or whatever. So getting like your financial identity incorporated with your .hl. And then another area we're looking at is privacy. What are like some ZK applications that make sense within the context of a name service? And we have been working on kind of a proof of concept of that hopefully should be available soon for people to check out. So that's like broadly where we're looking at in the longer term, but in between now and then, maybe some other things come up that are more relevant or more in demand or provide more value in the short term. So it could go a lot of ways.
So some of that stuff is currently in the works, or is that something that's going to be, we'll say, like next year, like 2026, late next year, is what I'm assuming.
Affiliate program is almost ready to be
Ooh.
rolled out. And the ZK stuff also potentially could come out before the end of the year.
I think that affiliate program is going to be massive because I know, especially like when was it Phantom Wallet when they integrated the perps, especially on Hyperliquid, the ecosystem got I can't remember, but I think like the first day it was like 5,000 like new users, or it's probably way more than that, and I'm under saying it, but I think being able to do like that type of a wallet integration would be huge. Because I know like Phantom specifically, right? Like they have something similar to that. They just obviously don't have Hyperliquid, at least not to my knowledge. I think that would be cool. And then also like that actual integrating your Twitter name, I think also would be something cool to add to that feature, to be able to kind of like you were saying that the name is actually tied to the correct person. And then also being able to have like other projects have better, I guess, understanding of like who their holders are and stuff like that, I think would also be kind of interesting.
I do want to say that your affiliate program, I'm ready. I think it should have come out yesterday just based on how many referrals I've already made. So as soon as you can get that, the sooner the better.
Yeah, you got it. It's soon, TM.
I love that. That's awesome. Also, yeah, there's some apps that are building social layers on hyper-EVM. I'm thinking specifically about hl.eco, the app that Guru's building where like integration with X would be really cool. So if he could just do that without even with delegating the whole onboarding and integrating all those different things just to HL names, like that would be even cooler. You could just like connect your wallet and already your X account is already linked, provided that you've already done the legwork of linking it within HL names. But yeah, I think there's definitely a lot of potential for stuff like that. Also, I think about FlipGo, right? So we're going to start experimenting with live streaming these through multi-platform streaming. And we're looking at another hackathon winner, FlipGo, which is a hyper-EVM native streaming platform, which is really kind of realizing this vision of live streaming for like live trading and perps trading, sort of like Hyperliquid oriented live streaming. So having that social integration could be valuable for an app like that as well.
On both of those, would love to have .hl incorporated into ecosystem pages like that, and within this more social application like this, like live stream platform, being able to connect like on chain and then have your identity already associated with that. That's like then the app can like pull from that in many different ways to have like this personalized experience. Yeah, would love to have all these things realized.
I think you guys integrated with Flipco would be massive for us. I'm just sorry being selfish on that one. I was just thinking to myself.
No, we love it. Like,
yeah.
hey, if FlipGo like supports us and holds our hands to help us like break out from this ship this app. You know, that would be awesome. So we'll connect to the best of our ability, connect you guys.
Nice. Well, I think we're via the hackathon. We're in touch with them, so I think it should be easy enough.
Sweet. Look at us making
Sweet.
connections or helping.
We're helping.
So this would be the time when we would normally ask the audience if they wanted to come up, ask any questions that we might have forgotten, or if you want to re-ask maybe a question that you missed us asking, feel free to come up. Steph, I don't know if you had any questions while we might have some requests coming up.
Hey guys. Actually, I was invited to this one by Crouton. I didn't check the calendar this morning, but thanks for having me as always. HL Names guys and I are part of that, I guess, Vancouver crew. So I've been watching them grow the protocol from the very beginnings, like as Christian said, from the beginning when it was kind of taken over from an earlier idea and then brought over to Hyperliquid. And just when I got my .hl name, that was the first time that I'd ever attributed any kind of like on-chain identity to my social identity and kind of just like connected the two. And that was just like a really huge moment for me. And I think really solidified my commitment to the Hyperliquid ecosystem. So I'm just a fan and here to support. And yeah, thanks for having me as always. Sorry, no questions.
No, you're good. I just figured I'd ask since you're here.
Hi, Steffi. We're so glad to see you. You need to come around more.
I know. I'm so sorry. I've been thinking about it. I've just been running around, but I'm coming back soon. I promise. Miss you guys.
That would be awesome. I don't know. Does any of our listeners have any other questions or anything like that? Feel free to hit that request button and come up and ask any questions. Empress, Toast, do you guys got anything?
I had my HL name before from way back. My MMFer. Somebody jacked my Empress one. So I got MMFer because I'm an MFer. So I've had it.
Oh my goodness. Can't believe somebody jacked Empress. Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
I'm hoping it's a total gay queen because that would be cool. Yeah.
I like to believe that eventually all names will end up with their rightful owners.
MMFer is still pretty good though.
Oh, it's great.
I'd almost like that one more than Empress.
Just a stick figure, man. Oh God, hi Home's
I was
here.
about to say, hi, Home. What's going on, brother?
Casca Palio, guys. Casca Palio. Yo, the space ain't complete if we haven't screamed Casca Palio. Like, this space ain't complete if we haven't screamed Casca Palio. And I know this might not be why we're here, but yo, Croton and Stealthy, bro, you guys need to get a Casca Pal. Like, yo, you guys need to rock a Casca Pal right now. We are literally most, like, we literally dominate the space, man. Look how we frozen stage. Oh, good lord, man. No one can keep up. But yeah, it is what it is. I love you guys. I have a question, by the way, right? Wait, the HL names, right? When you mint it, I love the aspects whereby we can literally extend it even as minting. Very, very lovely feature. I love that shit. I was like, yo, for 1 year, no. And then I saw the extend feature. I was like, yo, now let me like extend a little bit because I don't know when it's gonna expire, right? Then the question now there is, take for example, Toast has his HL name, and after 1 or 2 years, it expires. It means it's out there. Anyone can mint that name, right? Am I right on that?
Yeah, exactly. So if you don't extend your name, then you lose ownership of it, and then anybody can come back to HL Names website or any other apps that offer name minting, and they can take that name. So you should be aware of when your name's going to expire. We're getting to the point soon where like the very first ever names that were minted will be coming up on a 1 year mark. We'll have a Telegram notification bot that you can hook up your address to, and it will notify you when your name is about to expire. So we should have that ready prior to any names actually expiring.
Oh, good lord, Croton, I love you right now. I love that. Like, wait, when you started saying probably when it was like it's gonna expire, I was scared. I was like, not everyone has a lot of things going on for themselves, right? And not everyone might have the time to be checking if the name's gonna expire or not. And the funny thing there is the days go so fast. You don't even know before you know it, 2 years is up or 3 years is up, right? And you might have lost ownership to the name and you might not even be aware. But the funny fact that, or should I say, the fact whereby you guys are creating a Telegram notification system that actually alerts you probably months before your stuff expires, and then you like get a notification earlier before that time. It's so innovative. Big shout out to you guys. Thank you guys for having me. And get a Casca Palio, bro. Get a Casca Palio. Yo, let's do this. Thank you, man.
Thank you. Message received.
And that is definitely high home for you. We did actually I got a DM from someone else having a question. Their question is, when we mint the names and everything like that, right? Are the mint funds going to expanding the platform, or is there going to be some type of an airdrop later down the road?
I cannot comment on the specifics of that, but I can say that we're dedicated to expanding the ecosystem, and we are internally committed to using funds that are received from name mints to expanding the ecosystem. And again, we've already done that by sponsoring the hackathon, the community hackathon. It was online, sponsoring other local hackathons, sponsoring events, contributing to ecosystem campaigns. Generally, yes, some portion of mint proceeds are used to benefit the ecosystem. And like I mentioned before, like one of our goals is growing the ecosystem, so it aligns with our mission to do so, and it's something that drives us.
Perfect. I like hearing that because I'm going to use the word that Empress, at least Toast just informed me that she doesn't like, is that seems very hyperliquid aligned.
Yeah, we love Jeff.
I like the fact that the funds will go towards like just broadening out the actual ecosystem and doing a lot of the hackathon stuff, because I feel like that definitely will help, like you said, right? Like as Hyperliquid grows, so does HL names. Like that's just a given.
Yeah, it's the biggest leverage activity I think we can do. We've built the tech, it works, we can add features, but what's really going to drive things forward for us and for everyone is expanding the pie, as I've said. So yeah, some funds are dedicated to community since day one. That was one of our prerogatives.
Perfect. Empress, Toast, do you guys got anything?
No, I just wanted to shout out that Clementi made this really funny video making fun of hyperliquid maxis.
So good.
It's so funny, and my brother-in-law, I got him to buy hype at $25, and he just sent me that. He's not on crypto Twitter, so I think it's just hilarious that he found it and he thought of me. I'm so honored. It's a
Yes,
hilarious clip. Check it out if you haven't seen it. It's
we
perfect
all have a
impression.
sickness. Well, hello, Andy.
Hey guys, I'm literally just listening in because I had some moments where I wasn't on calls and I saw you guys streaming in the chats. I always see it, can never come. So, hey, how you doing, everybody? What's up, HL names? Good to see you guys.
I'm a little giddy. I'm told something's
Hey,
coming,
Andy.
Andy.
Nothing. This is an HL name spaces, and
Yeah,
we love names.
HL names. We love names.
I was about to say, does Tiny Wines have an HL name yet?
Dude, that's a good idea.
I think it is. And I definitely should get a referral fee for that. Right, Crouton?
Yeah,
Somebody's gonna go
exactly.
mint it right now. Reserve it, quick,
Yeah,
reserve.
go get that right now. Hi, home. What's going on, brother?
Yeah, is there a way we can literally trade names? Is there like a marketplace? I'm thinking like shouldn't there be like a marketplace where names can be traded? Or does that already exist that I don't know?
You can trade them on NFT marketplaces like OpenSea and DripTrade.
Okay. I'm gonna just like check it out. If I have probably any question and the trade and everything, I want to write like an article on how you can get your first name. I'll probably trade it. But if I have any question, is it okay if I enter into your DM or probably do you have an intern I can reach out to or something like that? Because I am just intern. Yeah.
Oh man, I wish I had an intern.
Yeah.
DM me. Just happy to chat.
Okay, no problem with that. No, thanks for that, Curtin. Thanks for that.
Yeah, no worries.
So first and foremost, thank you, Crouton, for coming with us or coming on with us. I definitely appreciate it to have a better understanding of HL names itself. Really, definitely was an eye opener of what is possible right now and what you guys are coming up with down the future.
Don't forget to mint your kids' names, people.
I got my cat's name already, so
Nice.
we're ready to go. Yeah, thanks for having me. This was fun.
Oh, and Beef has come out with 2 new podcasts in the past couple days. So I would definitely check out that content because he's doing a lot of good work educating that way.
No promises soon, TM. We're experimenting with a new streaming format, and we will be trying to stream with our native Hyperliquid streaming platform, which is FlipGo. I'm on the hook for figuring out the technicals there. So again, no promises, but soon, TM. Look out for multi-platform streaming with DeFi for Dummies. Love you guys.
And with that, we are done. Talk to y'all later. Bye.
Bye.
Cascaballo.